The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another webinar here. We are excited to bring you some new products here from the HVAC division at Kinetics Noise Control. My name is Lee Chiddention. I am the market manager for the HVAC products here at Kinetics. And we have two exciting products we'd like to talk about in today's webinar. I appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy schedules to join us. I'll try and keep this pretty short, maybe around 15 minutes or so, and get you all back to your busy schedules. So we're looking at the first thing we want to highlight today is the new KSR product. So as many of you know, Kinetics has had a spring rail available for a long time. We now have updated this product, and we are proud to announce the KSR 2.0. So the first thing I will highlight to everyone is that there is a really nice landing page that's now live on the website. So all of the information I'm going to go over today, including the installation video, etc., is going to be located on this website's landing page. You can get the data sheets, installation guidelines, AutoCAD drawings, submittal drawings, all of that stuff are available. So just visit the vibration isolation section of the Kinetics Noise website and then go to roof curbs, and you'll find a nice landing page with all the information you need for the KSR 2.0. So the need for a redesign, the old KSR often had the following complaints from the field. We would hear complaints that it was an erector set, there were too many pieces and parts. Too much field labor was required to put it together. Acoustical consultants didn't like the fact that we had metal leaf restraints that could short out the isolation. They were the wind and seismic restraints inside. There were a lot of restraints required in high wind and seismic areas just to make it pass code. We get complaints that springs would come out during shipping of the KSR rail, so they would arrive on site missing springs. And there was no plenum rating being offered with the old KSR. So we basically took a lot of feedback from the old style, and we went back to the drawing boards and did a redesign of the KSR. So the redesign is going to be kind of set it and forget it design. We wanted to really make this thing user-friendly. Field testing so far with all of our beta units, where we're looking at about 1/8 the field labor in comparison to the old style KSR. So a lot of savings that can be had by the contractor by utilizing this product. Not a lot of additional or no additional restraints are required for this product, and we'll talk a little bit about the restraints and how that works. The springs are pre-compressed for this design at the factory. The advantage of pre-compressing the springs mean that the KSR comes at the height that it's going to be after the weight of the equipment is set on it. So as far as installation, everything's going to be at the right height, and also the springs can't come out during shipping of this unit because it is pre-compressed. We also have the ability to install our weather seal on the inside of the unit as well as the outside, and this will be give us the ability to offer a plenum rating on future releases of the new KSR design. So the planned release schedule and phase out of the old style. So rolled out on Thursday of 1/21, the KSR 2.0 fully assembled. So that is the rail, the new design fully assembled is already out live. You can order that today. And then coming soon, we're going to follow up a rollout with the partially assembled KSR 2.0, as well as the curb version fully and partially assembled. Once we roll out the final iteration of the new rail and curb, we will actually phase out the old style KSR, and it will no longer be available for shipment. So when we look at the nomenclature and how we're going to be naming this thing, obviously with it being a 2.0, if you order a 2.1 FA, you're ordering a KSR 2.0 with 1-inch deflection springs, and also it's going to be a fully assembled version. That's what the FA designates. And then a 2.2 is going to be the 2-inch version of the fully assembled. And then, of course, we had the PA for the partially assembled, also available in 1 and 2-inch. And then with the KSCR, we're now, instead of just kinetic spring rail, we're adding the curb in there. So now we're going to add the factory curb. This guy is going to come in fully assembled 1 and 2-inch, and also partially assembled 1 and 2-inch. So let's look at the highlights here for the new design. The pre-compressed springs are going to be right here in the rail. What's going to make this thing really easy to install and easy to deal with is the fact we can pre-compress the springs at the factory and install the weather seal. So the weather seal is completely installed by the factory after the springs are compressed. So the weather seal for this design is in fact our wind and seismic restraint. So there is no need for additional restraints. We put some small strips of the weather seal on the inside so that when we compress the springs, it keeps the rail sitting level. And then essentially, once the unit sits on this weather seal is tight at the moment, it will become loose and kind of bulb out there. And that's when you know that your unit's adjusted properly. We also pre-install the rubber corner weather seal on the fully assembled version that's already been rolled out. So essentially, it's an extremely compact design that's ready to sit and be utilized. Here's a cross-sectional look. Up here you have the up the top there you have the unit, the curb sitting on top of the rail, and then you can see that the weather seal can actually be attached from the outside or the inside. And that's where we can offer plenum rating and more capacity if we need to. If we do need to add more wind restraint because maybe this thing's going to Miami, then we can add more of the material to the inside of the curb as well. And the springs obviously are going to be pre-compressed, and then all you have to do is screw the rail right to the factory curb for the KSR. So the set it and forget it mentality, this installation video is going to come available through a QR code with all of the new rails. The contractor can scan this and watch a quick video. But for the fully assembled version, essentially you have your factory curb. You're going to run 2 lines of the sealant around the top of the factory curb. You're going to set the fully assembled KSR right on top, align it with the curb, and then you're going to screw it in place. After that's done, you're simply putting the duct flex connectors on, and then you're putting the weather stripping on top of the rail, and then you're setting the unit down. As you can see, it's an extremely easy installation. We do, however, often run into situations with our KSR designs where the center of gravity is not necessarily accurate information we get from the manufacturers of the air handling units. So if you have a unit that after the crane sets it is not level, you will need to lift that unit up and then use this spring compression tool that comes with every order of curbs in order to add springs into the low side of the rail. Because the rail's pre-compressed, it's a very tight spot to get a new spring inserted in there. So we came up with this insertion tool. You can basically crank down on these bolts to compress the spring and then use this 5/8 bolt in the back to actually push the spring in to the rail. Here's a nice animation of the spring getting pushed into the rail from the inside. If, for instance, the crane left and you realize the unit is not level, the corner of the units, the curbs are open like this. So you can slide springs in from the end of the unit. You would have to cut out the weather material on the corner to be patched, but it would be able to be added from the end as well. We suggest obviously being on site, making sure they're level while the crane's there, and you can put extra springs in as you need to. Here's actual photographs of one of the spring coils that was compressed with the tool being put into a pre-compressed rail in our shop. Here are some ready-to-ship units. These were a part of the beta testing. Here you can see a good glimpse of the inner brackets that hold the corners together. and some pre-compressed springs and the weather restraint from the inside. And then here you can see the fully assembled corners and weather strip. Now, of course, if you are installing one of these on a partially assembled, you know, the corner assembly is going to be pretty easy to deal with. Here you can see you would have the the side rails already installed on the factory curb. You would slide the end rail in place. And yes, for anyone that knows me, that is me. So this is so easy to do. Even the market manager can do it. Here I am putting the brackets in place and attaching the corner of the rail together. So it's literally this easy. 4 Tech screws on the inside of the bracket. And I'm not going to play this whole 3-minute video, but I'll just give you some highlights. This video will also come with the unit. You're gonna here you can see the open end where you could insert extra springs if you needed. You're going to screw the end rails together, apply the weather caulking, and then you're going to install the rubber corner. Here's the rubber corner going in place, and then the final step is to put some flashing tape around the corner. So we will send out a video of this being done as well once we roll out the partially assembled option for the KSR as well. So let's go on to the next slide. Next, we're going to talk about our KCI. That stands for Kinetics Compact Isolator. We're looking to roll this one out in March. It is a very small, lightweight isolator that's going to replace probably the smaller sizes of the FHS isolator right now. It's a compact, lightweight design. It can come with a post-style mount or an angle-style mount option for the top. It uses our smaller spring family of springs, so therefore it can be offered in 1- and 2-inch deflection. It has extremely strong snubbing capacity because of the low center of gravity, and it's great for lightweight equipment. Residential condensers, small fans, anything of that nature on the roof that needs to be isolated but also restrained for wind code. You could easily utilize this new compact design isolator. Here's an example of the FHS now. You have a big, thick, beefy restraint here. As you can see with the new design, it's a much more lightweight design. It's 1.5 inches shorter than its older brother. And also there is the spring is completely enclosed. So on this design, the spring is actually fighting against the restraint anchors. So we get more capacity out of our anchors with this design. Here's an idea of the available options. So you'll have a post type option. So this one comes with a threaded post sticking out the top. This is for equipment that's supposed to be bolted down to the isolator. It will also be offered here with an angle version as well. So there's an angle that comes as the top plate, so you can set the equipment on here and then tech screw through the outside of the angle to hold the equipment in place, or you could rest strut on there or something of that nature. Available options here we can see on the 1-inch option with the angle bracket here, we can go all the way up to 805-pound capacity spring rate. Here is the 2-inch version. It can go all the way up to 1975, so 1,975-pound option. And this housing is obviously a little bit taller because this is the 2-inch deflection version. And then we have the post option. So for this one, we have a post top mount on the top. Again, it goes up to 805 pounds. Then in the 2-inch, all the way up to 1975 with the post type. So this one's coming in March of 2021. We're really excited for both of these new products. That was right at 15 minutes. So hopefully everyone has a good rest of their day. And I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you and have a great day.